Welcome to Sisters in Arms. I'm Carrie-Ann Auclair. This is where we educate, advocate, and tell true stories. Let's get started. Today we have very amazing guests joining us from the Massachusetts Junior Conservation Camp. So we have John Green, who's on the board. We have Maze. Did I say that right? Marz. I always say it wrong. I'm sorry. One of the happy campers, and Ron Hebb, who is the director of the camp. So welcome. Thank you so much for having
of course.
joining me today. I do want to mention too that I had the opportunity of joining you guys on during the camp as the shotgun assistant. So that was a great eye-opening experience for me. I learned a lot, and I realized how important the camp truly is. So thank you very much for coming on and talking about how important it is. So I'm going to start with you, Ron.
Okay.
So I want you to kind of tell us a little bit more about the camp, because I know it was founded in 1949, and then in 1983 it became a nonprofit. So can you tell us a little bit more about the camp and all the amazing things that you guys do? Because it was pretty cool.
Well, the camp has been around since for 76 years. Last year was our 75th anniversary. The camp is structured for 13 to 17-year-old males and females, kids, to learn the shooting sports, conservation, forest fire control, forestry management, fisheries management, and a whole host of other things that they do for the evening programs and stuff. It's structured like a school. There's a morning class, then lunch, and then 2 afternoon classes, a break time, supper, some free time, and then we have another evening program at night.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when I was the first day, I got there like the second day, and it was amazing how organized you guys are, because there's a lot to it. I mean, you had, 77 kids or something like that?
82 kids showed up.
82, yeah.
We can host 120. Since COVID, we've been down a little bit. We haven't been able to get the numbers and stuff, and I have roughly about 35 staff to run the camp, not counting the cook and crew and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's organized chaos. It's like herding cats. But they do a good job. Most of them have been with the camp for quite a while.
Yeah, so because I was asking tons of questions because I wanted to learn as much as I could. So when I got there, I realized that these kiddos from age 13 to 17, they can go to the camp only once.
Correct.
And then after that, if they like the camp and they want to keep participating, they can become super campers.
They can apply to be super campers.
So
yep.
What's the role of a super camper?
Super camper is a liaison between the staff and the campers themselves. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a weirdish position because sometimes they have to act kind of like staff, and other times they don't. But they have that liaison, that middle layer, because a lot of times the campers don't want to talk to staff members. So they'd rather talk to somebody, one of their peers.
Safe place to go
kind
and
of
be
a
like,
safe place to
I
go.
want to go home, I'm homesick.
And talk to us a little bit about why those super campers are chosen for that role.
So the super campers are chosen because they apply for the position. They write out a letter saying why they want to be there, what they think their strengths are, maybe what are weaknesses. And then they're read at a staff meeting.
I was there with one of them. It was great, yeah.
And then that's when they're voted yay or nay and either, accepted or not.
Right. I think that was pretty, I was glad to be there to actually hear some of the letters, and it was actually it was like it tugged at my heartstrings, because I realized that, these kiddos come in here with a certain expectation, and then all of a sudden they're like, wow, I learned so much. And I personally watched these kids go in there scared like Jack, and then leaving with this mm-hmm. confidence level of I can do this. And the leadership that you guys provide amongst everything else is pretty amazing. So once they become a super camper, what happens? How long can they become a super camper? Is that continuous?
Nope, it's a 1-year deal.
1-year deal.
There's a new batch every year that we choose from the previous year. Mm-hmm. A lot of the super campers do turn out to be staff members. We've had a multitude of staff that have come up through campers, super camper, into staff, and some into admin positions with the camp.
Yeah, and even though you like 35 staffers, I'm sitting here going, just the amount of responsibility, I just hearing
24/7 for
24/7
13 plus days.
I stayed in the cabin with all of you guys, and I could hear things going on and see how chaotic it could be, and and how amazing you all are just taking care of the kids and passionate. You're passionate about it. So let's talk about the staffers, because, all right, so you're super camper, then you decide to become a staffer. I was researching online and I saw some older pictures and I'm like, wow, these kids have been part of the staff for a while.
Correct, yes.
So how long, like, what is the longest staff member you have?
So, I mean, we have this, Mike Lamontagne has got 20 plus 25 years, I think. You're up there for 20,
I'm 26.
26.
This was my 26th year.
I've got 25 with the camp. The colonel's got close to 20 probably with the camp. You know, then there's a lot of staff that have 10 plus years. You know, Cole and Amber, Jared and Sass,
Sure.
Yeah.
Mike Souza. I mean, there's a lot of them that have been there. And they all started as campers, well, as did we.
Right?
Right, and I think that's where you could see like Cole and Jared and Sass, you could see the passion in their eyes. You know, even they're like,
you have to think of it. I mean, we have several staff that come up from Florida.
Yeah.
And this is their vacation, right? They take a vacation from they're all adults, they have a primary occupation.
Right.
And they take their 2-week vacation to come up and work at the camp for 2 weeks.
Right.
I mean, that's love, that's devotion, that's passion.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the nurse comes in from California.
That's true. That's true. What about, can you talk a little bit about the corporate structure
I was just
of
going to
the
ask
camp?
that. Thank you.
So the corporate structure, we're a nonprofit. We have a board of directors with a president, a secretary, and a treasurer. And then we have board of director members. And under that, then there are what they call members at large. So I believe that between the board of directors and the executive officers, there's 9.
Sure.
And then I think there's another 8 or 7.
And there,
at
we
large.
work with the corporate partners. We have a Department of Conservation and Recreation, Fish and Wildlife,
Cool.
Massachusetts Environmental Police Officers, and Gun Owners Action League. So they're the 4 corporate entities that make up the Camp Corporation. And within the board, we have folks from the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife. We have Ken Brown, our treasurer, is president of Mass Bow Hunters Association. Right? So the organization is run by folks that are devoted to the North American conservation model and are outdoors women and men,
Right.
and just
Trapping.
passionate about conveying everything that we've learned in our experiences as hunters and fishermen and stewards of the environment, and passing this down
love
to
it.
the next generation, as they say. So it's an amazing board, just made up of amazing folks that are
So,
involved in
since this is
conservation.
since this is a nonprofit, thank you, John, for explaining that. Since this is a nonprofit, I mean, obviously, a lot of the organizations that you mentioned must, donate and obviously donate their time. How else are you getting the funds to keep this camp going?
We have outside donations that come in from people who have been campers. Some people donate through a family structure for a member who had been to camp and has passed on. That's
the NASH Fund.
NASH Fund. We have there's gun stores and sportsmen's organizations that donate or give self a cost.
Oh, that's great.
Mass Trappers comes up and spends their time, and they bring stuff for the camp meal. Worcester County League donates a deer every year for the Field to Table program.
Yeah, I saw that.
That gets butchered and cooked and served at the camp.
Yep.
There's a ton of outside agencies that help us.
And I was on your website, and I did notice that there is a spot where if you wanted to donate towards this camp, you are more than welcome to, juniorconservationcamp.org. Check it out. But
And for instance, Gun Owners Action League, they provided 2 staffers for the 2 weeks, plus we covered all of the ammunition used on our sporting clays and scholastic action shooting optional days.
Yeah.
Right?
It's-
Holyoke Revolver Club comes up, they ran an NRA basic pistol course, but we'll get into the optionals later. But ultimately, it's this camp is put on by individuals and organizations that know how important the North American conservation model is.
And I understand, Marz, was your club, did they sponsor you to get to the camp?
Yes.
Awesome. I love that. I didn't realize how many clubs were involved in that and picking a kiddo and sending him to the camp.
What club was that?
Wonkiko.
Oh, fantastic.
One Kiko.
Fantastic. Great
Nice.
club. Used to do a lot of women on target events down at One
Oh,
Kinko.
awesome. So tell me, how did you hear about the camp, and how did you get there? How did you get excited to come?
So at one point, my mom, she was like, "Hey, there's this camp that I heard about. Would you want to go?" And she just sent me the link to it. I looked through it a little bit, and I'm like, "Yeah, this looks like fun."
Awesome. And then you went to the club, and was there a process?
I'll be so honest. I've never been to this club ever.
Mom's out there, by the way. Hi, Mom.
But your mom gets to a lot of clubs we
Yes.
hear.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And she's very involved with a lot of amazing things. So that's awesome. So we're going to talk more about your experience soon as well. How is this? You said 78 kids that came this year. Mm-hmm. What's the most you've ever had?
We've had 124 show up, and we had an attrition value, so we graduated, I think, 112 that year, if I'm not mistaken. There are some kids that do go home due to homesickness and stuff, and once in a while we do have kids go home for discipline issues. The camp is fairly strict, and some people have problems adapting
Adjusting.
to the schedule and
Right.
stuff, and different things.
So I imagine, because I was watching, like I got a couple days where I wasn't really working, but I worked it by going to the different courses and classes that they offered, and I was watching these kids and just seeing them. Some of them were scared. Some of them were, you could tell they were out of their
Element.
element. They were completely out of their element. They're like, these are woods. What is that? There's a black squirrel. Ah! But as they were moving on, you could tell they kind of relaxed. They made friends and learned how to work together as a team. I know I went to the survival course,
training.
and I'm watching all these girls in groups trying to start a fire, and I'm like, girls, put your hair up. Yeah, you need to put your hair up. But just to watch them all working together to try to start this fire, and then when they did, it was like the best thing since sliced bread. But I also want to mention too, because I realized that you have quite a extensive staff. So you just don't have staff. You have staff that are certified instructors. You have staff that are medical staff that are certified CPR. And can you talk a bit about that? Because I would imagine that would be hard to find people to volunteer on a regular basis.
It's kind of tough at times. All our firearms instructors are NRI certified. The bow instructors are certified through the bow bow hunters or something. I forget how they get it, but
Sure.
they get their certification. We have a multitude of medical staff. Besides our nurses, there was, two other EMTs on staff, one soon to be a paramedic. But so we are more than well covered on that. Some of our instructors are ex-military. We have some ex-police officers that come up and volunteer their time.
Wow.
So it's quite an extensive background. And a lot of the shooting instructors, as John can validate, have been doing this for a long time.
Sure.
I think the minimum age requirement, I think, was 6 years or 7 years, so most of them have been up there.
At least.
So-
And then you look at Kevin McGovern, who's not only the president of the corporation, but is one of the favored instructors and leaders up there. He was a professional educator for New Bedford High School for
Right.
20 plus years, ran the junior ROTC. So there's a lot of talent that comes from outside of the organization, right, that we pour into the camp. And that's what makes the camp so successful. I mean, certainly we have to meet all of these regulatory and statutory requirements because we're licensed by the state and we have, all the legal requirements with regard to nursing staff and medical staff. But more than that, our staff is trained by experience. They all went through the camp, as
Right.
Ron said. They came back as super campers.
Right.
They loved it so much they came back as staff. They know the inside and the outside of the camp. They know how Ron and Amber like to run things. It makes for a very fluid session every year. And the one thing that I regret is we can only run this camp once a year. Right?
I know.
Once a year.
I agree with you, because when I got home, I started thinking a lot about as you know, most of my work is educating and advocacy. And I started really thinking about how important what you guys do on a regular basis. Because if we don't start talking to the youth and we don't start bringing in the youth to understanding the importance of what we're doing on a regular basis, because part of the advocacy is part of advocating for what you guys do, not just the Second Amendment.
Of course.
And it all goes together. And we need to stop talking in the echo chamber and start talking to the youth and trying to figure out how we can do that more.
I would submit that this camp has made some amazing humans, right? So many of our campers have gone on to become wildlife biologists.
Yes.
They've become politicians. We think George Peterson, a famous representative from Grafton, Massachusetts, he went to the camp.
Yes, that
Right?
was
We
awesome.
have legislators that come by and support the camp. Senator Peter Durant out of the Holden area, just a wonderful, wonderful individual and very pro-North American conservation model, hunter, shooter, things like that. We've had folks that have come to this camp. Now they work for law enforcement agencies, environmental police officers, right? But they stay and they work and they put all that love and passion into their vocation that we like to think they picked up when they spent their time at the Junior Conservation Camp. I know I wouldn't be doing what I do now for Gun Owners Action League if I hadn't been to the camp when I was 15.
I wish I
Changed
knew
my
about
life.
it. Yep, I wish I knew about it. I mean, it changed me just going there.
Sure.
Like, wow, what an amazing experience. Marz, I have to ask you,
Yes.
when you got to the camp the first time and you walked in there, and yes, I know your mom, so I was able to get some pictures of you. So, but I know that for me, watching everybody just the first day, the looks on everybody's faces was priceless. What were you feeling when you went there?
I was very scared. I won't lie. I was very nervous. I kind of hid a lot of the time where I just did not want to be seen.
Aw.
I was hoping just to get by those few weeks and not really.
It happens.
Then here I come with the camera. Hi!
Yeah,
No hiding.
recording
No
me in
hiding.
front of like the rest of my group, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's great.
So,
It's fine.
so what was the turning point for you? What was that turning point where you're like, because I know I watched it, and I watched you go from, I'm going to go hide over here, I'm going to put my hair over my face, and then all of a sudden you're like, look at me, I'm going to shoot this shotgun, you know. And you had an amazing time, well, as far as I could tell.
Oh, I did. It was
So
really good.
what was the turning point?
So funny enough, it was the second day during your shotgun class that it just completely turned around. I met my one friend that I mostly spoke to, and then also just honestly, it was learning how to properly shoot a shotgun. That was my main highlight, I think.
And I was going to share the pictures later, but I know I have a picture of you shooting the shotgun. Maybe Walt can find that one picture and we can show real quickly. But that was, here it is.
Hey.
There you are.
With Tegan.
Yep.
Tegan
Yep.
LeBlanc is one of our employees, and she was a clay target superstar at the Millis Fin Fur and Feather Club. She was on the Scholastic Clay Target program for years, and now she's majoring in law enforcement at Westfield State College and
Oh,
comes
yeah.
up and helps us out for shotgun. I mean, this is the devotion, this is the incredible staff that Ron and the board has put
Yeah.
together over the years. Simply
That's
amazing.
awesome. So that was your turning point, the shotgun.
Yeah.
So I know you had a fun time shooting black powder
Oh,
as well. There was a lot of times I caught you with in different classes that I saw a big smile on your face, fishing, grabbing that net, getting those fish. There was all sorts of great, wonderful things that you guys did. So what are you taking back from that camp? Did anything inspire you to?
I mean, it kind of just wants me to actually get more into the hunting world, start to experience more, get more into gun clubs, and actually experience what it's like in the gun world instead of kind of following my mom around and kind of learning it through that, where I hear it from a bunch of adults, but I want to be more in like youth gun clubs and
Part of the youth sports.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That makes me smile.
And there are more opportunities now than there were 10 or 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So what would you say to a young kiddo that's thinking about going to this camp?
That's a good question. I'd probably tell them that don't really worry about kind of making friends, where you do want to make friends at that camp, but it's mostly try to actually take in the experience that what you're having there and take the most of it. Because if you're kind of hiding away, not really wanting to do any of it and not interact with anybody, it's going to really take away the experience. And once I personally actually started to realize, hey, this isn't so bad. It's not bad out here. I'm not scared.
So at what point did it go from it's really not too bad to, hey, this is really good? Was it that second day?
It was either the second to fourth day, and I'm like, oh wow, this is actually awesome.
Right, that's par for the course. I mean, think of it. These kids come out of their environment, right?
Yeah.
They have no cell phones, right? No cell phones for 2 weeks. When we talk to the kids, what do you miss most? I miss my dogs, right? So they miss their dogs, right? Their whole world has been upended, and that's tough.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
tough for us on the staff. And usually, after talking with these kids, second, third, fourth, fifth day, sometimes now they start coming around. Hey, I don't need that cell phone. I have this to look at. I have this to focus on. I'm meeting all these new people, and I get it, right? You said it before. Just seeing that change, right? When that camper catches their first fish, or they break their first clay, or they knock that steel plate over on rifle, right? It's just, you see that change. Like, this is amazing. What confidence we
It was
help build
awesome.
for these
And
kids.
when I went to, I forgot the wildlife, they were teaching them about nets, gill nets and stuff. And so all the girls get out in the boat and they're rowing out there and they're going in a circle and they finally get it. They get out there and they throw the gill net and then they go back and get it. And they were the only ones that got a fish. And I remember the screams, oh my God, oh no, it's dying. They're trying to get back as quick as they could to get
So
the
this was
fish.
with Jim Legacy?
Legacy,
Yes.
So Jim Legacy is just retiring from the division. He's been there for, 30 plus years, something
been there a
like
long
that.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the talent of the staff
Yeah.
when we work with all these corporate partners.
Oh,
And he's
it was
fantastic
such a
with the
great
campers.
experience just to witness that. Weren't you part of that group?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
It was really funny watching them come back in.
Yeah, you're
I think it's dead.
Eyes like this big, and it's in the net. They can't get it out. No, it was just so great to see everybody just grow in 2 weeks. How amazing that is. So going back to you real quick, Ron. You've been there how long again? 30.
So I went as a camper in '77. I went back as a staff member in '87, and then I left, I think it was 2000, when my kids were born. And then I came back in 2014, I've been back ever since.
That's awesome. And you said you've been there for 30 years straight, right?
Yeah, I went as a camper, I think 1983 or 84. I was 15, and that's when we were at Camp Marshall in Spencer, Mass. Camps moved locations probably a half a dozen times over the years. And then when I became staff for Gun Owners Action League in 1999, I was voted onto the board in 1999 for the camp board and became the shotgun instructor in 2000. That was my first year, and I've been for every year since 2000 as a shotgun instructor and some of the shooting sports optionals and whatever I can do for Ron and the staff. Taking the things from the barn and taking things back to the barn. And
That's a lot of
It's
work.
a labor of love.
Yes,
it really
it-
is. But
it is.
we talked about the staff being a family, right? This is my camp family.
Yep.
I get to spend 2 weeks a year with them,
Yeah.
right? 24/7.
Oh, I love it.
And
It was great.
It's an amazing experience.
I have to tell you this, just being there and helping the kiddos with the shotgun, I get excited when I help women shoot and learn how to shoot, but this was my favorite, I think. This was really my favorite. Just seeing them hit that clay and you're like, oh, you did it! And they're
Right,
like,
the
woo!
confidence. Right, the confidence
Yeah, the
booster.
confidence.
And you did a fantastic job.
Oh,
you
thank
really,
you.
really did.
It was so much fun. I had so much fun. Couldn't you tell? All right, so hold on a second, because we got a few more minutes. What does Colonel West say? I'm not Colonel West, the Colonel.
Every day gets better and better.
Every day gets better and better. But wait, there's a whole thing to it, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What is it?
Like all of his
Ooh, every day gets
better and better. Spear of Destiny,
Oh, yeah.
Warhammer. There was
Wait a minute. Warhammer!
dun
You
dun
got to do
dun.
it right. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. What was the other one?
Because.
Why do I have a knife?
Because.
Why do I have a gun?
Because.
That's right.
And here's a guy that's been educating folks from New Bedford for how many years, right?
Long time.
Boy, he's a staple to the camp.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then Mac Attack. That's Mac.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to take over.
He's
The
trying,
world
I think.
someday, the world.
I swear he thinks that he's like 30 years old.
Sure.
That kid-
So Mac is the colonel's grandson.
Yep.
Correct.
And he's been coming to the camp, probably since he's been 8 or 9. And he's the youngest old person that I know, or oldest young person that I know. Just a mature, smart kid that has been helping staff. And this year he helped with archery.
Yeah.
Right. He's learned the camp from
That was
within.
teaching me archery that day.
And I was up there shooting.
Yep.
And just listening to his words. Very impressed. I mean,
Old
the stuff
soul.
that we learn when we don't talk.
What an
right?
old soul.
Yes.
Yep. And that goes to show you. I mean, he's been part of the camp because he came kind of as a staffer at one point, right? So to speak.
Well, he
'cause
came
was
as the colonel's grandson just to
grandson.
help out.
Yep.
And he's established a role. He's done the air rifle, he's done the black powder, he's done the edge weapons. Now he's doing archery. He's just jumped in and done anything he can learn up there.
And he's certainly a hint at the camp talent show.
Yes.
Oh, I missed it, but I
absolute
saw the videos. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Next week, next year, I'm staying the full 2 weeks. That's it. That's if you have me back.
So do we have time to talk about the evening programs?
Actually, about 2 minutes, and then we're going to be back and talk more about the camp. So stay tuned. Part 2's coming up.